Hey you guys, I am back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I install my wig from Ft.RIYA Hair. And as you can see, y'all, I use all of my wig caps, and I'm just going to go ahead and just use a regular little stocking cap sock, and we're just going to jump right into it. It's stretchy, so make sure you have a stretchy sock to use on your head. But before we even get started, y'all, we just gonna pause because we're not gonna jump into it this way. I gotta jump into it the right way, because you don't start off just putting the cap on. The wig gotta be prepped and all of that. So we're gonna start that right now. So I'm back, y'all. Excuse me for the speaker over here on the side. I had to set my phone up on something so that you guys will be able to see me wash the wig. And I showed you at the beginning a few minutes ago that there's a lot of gunk and nasty around the rim of the lace. So we're going to get that off, starting by using some water. Of course, we're going to use water. And I'm basically going to be washing the entire wig as well in this video, so continue to watch. So now that my wig is watered down, it's really wet, I'm going to start off with using this curly shampoo for the hair. I usually like to use this on wigs and when I have a sew-in because it's pretty light. And I'm going to wash the edges of the lace as well with this shampoo. Scrub it. I mean, not too rough, but scrub it enough to be able to get that glue off, because when you install the wig back on your head, you definitely do not want any of that glue still on there. And so now I'm getting ready to use the Tresemme Curly conditioner. As I said, this conditioner is pretty light, and so I went ahead and applied that on the ends of the hair and the back of the hair as well. And key factor, you better detangle the hair. And then I let that soak, I let that sit so that the hair would be soft and clean and ready for me to reuse. This is the Ft.RIYA wig. It was a pre-plucked wig. It was also 14 inches, and I cut it down to about 12 inches. The density was 150 or 130. It was pretty good hair the first 2 weeks of wearing it, but y'all, the last week of wearing it, like the third week, it started getting knotty. I'll show you guys a picture, and this is all the hair that came out of the wig. But back to the beginning of the video, I'm going to go ahead and put the sock on my head. And y'all, it was tight. But I had to work with what I had to work with, okay? But you're just going to fit the cap along your head. I usually put the cap over my ears so that I have some leeway and more space to cut and spray and all that good stuff. And so because the wig cap was not the color of my skin, obviously it was the color of the fur in the background, I used foundation and a makeup brush to apply the foundation across my head. You can apply as much foundation as you think you need, guys. I applied a lot at the edge line and sort of back because I know the wig had side parts and middle parts. once I was done doing that, I got my Got To Be Glue Freezing Spray and I sprayed it along the edges. Now you could spray as much of this as you need, and I use a blow dryer as well to dry it. You could spray as much as you need, but I try to get around my edge line as much as possible. And as soon as that dries, y'all, I always do a second layer. I'm patting it down, making sure that it is on my edges, not on the edges directly, but where my edge line ends, where it stops. And I kept doing that for that side, the right side, and the left side. And so around my ears, it was still kind of lifting. So I went back and applied more Got To Be spray on the edges around my ear and that area, that weird area near the ear. And then I blow dried it. I do not put the blow dryer on warm or hot. I always do cool only because I feel like it dries faster that way. Maybe it's just me. And I did that for that side of my head and the other side as well. So guys, this is the most tedious part of the entire process, cutting the wig cap off, because if it is not cut precisely or almost perfect, then when you put the wig on, you'll be able to see the cap underneath and the wig might slide off. So I started with cutting in the middle of my head, cutting along the ears and the other ear, so I can go ahead and just get rid of that, and it helped me go ahead and start cutting along the perimeter. And so with this, you just have to know your hairline. Know your hairline before you even put the cap on. I know how my hairline starts, and I know how it ends, and I know how far back it is or how close up it is, because my forehead is pretty big, y'all, but I know how my hairline is. And so basically, you just have to go with the flow of your hairline. Just cut along the hairline. You don't want too much of your hair showing. I've seen in other videos, sometimes they leave a little bit of their edges out, but honestly, I don't know. I'm not professional enough to try that, because if I cut my baby hairs off, I'm going to be upset. So as you can see, I am still cutting along my hairline, and this area behind the ear again it kept coming up. This is not a fail, y'all. It's just you make mistakes when you put on a wig cap or do anything. And so I was putting more got to be glue on this area near my ear, and it kept sliding up, y'all. But I got through it and I let it dry as much as I possibly could. Now that the perimeter of my wig cap, my edges, all that good stuff is completely dry, I started putting the wig on my head. But before I do that, I'm going to show you guys this lace in the back. I never cut it off when I first put the wig on, so I'm just going to do that now just to show you guys. You just got to cut along the back of the hairline. Don't cut the hair, cut the hair line in the back, and this is optional, you guys. You guys don't have to. I try to show you as good as I could, but it's very optional. You don't have to cut the back of the lace. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide the cap on my head just to make sure that I lined it up pretty well with the wig cap itself, which I did because I'm so used to knowing how my hairline is, and I cut it pretty well. Now, if you still notice some of the wig cap is out, you can also go back and cut it. That's very optional. You can go ahead and do that. Get it as perfect as you can, like I said before, and I'm going to tell you guys what's inside of the cap. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 combs, and in the back it was a latch as well. I used the Got To Be gel, and I got a small bottle because a little bit goes a long way. As you can see, the area around my ear still was coming up a little bit. It's a little bit of hair showing, but I worked with what I had to do. And then I put the gel around the perimeter. I put it on top of wig cap so that the glue and the wig would lay right on top of the perimeter of the wig cap, and I did the same for the other side, but not just yet. And so I went ahead and got my blow dryer again on the cool temperature, not warm, and I kept that on there for a little minute or so. So after I blow dry my hair, I immediately started to lay my edges, y'all. And once I got my edges to look the way I wanted them to, I went ahead and started to spray the hair just to show you guys how it looks when it's wet. This is not how I usually style it after I install my wig and do my edges. I usually just leave it like that, and the next day if I want to style it, that's when I do. But I just wanted to show you guys how it looks when it is wet. I could come through it fairly easy. It's really soft. Like I said, the density is, I think, 150 if I'm not mistaken. So it holds water, and the hair is fairly thick. So when I do put the water in it, it does pretty well. And I went back and fixed my edges a little bit more to my liking as well. Also, you guys, on my edges, I used the Lotta Bodies foam. that is it, you guys. But thank you so much for joining me today. If you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe below. And bye, guys.